lots of assumptions from the opposition side. First assumption is that they think that gays are already accepted by society. There is already huge progress for this anti-discrimination of gays, so there is no need for us to implement this policy. We believe that it's a very, very huge assumption. Why? Because gay marriage is not legalized yet. So, which means that people still have this mindset about that gay people's sexual orientation is abnormal, is unnatural, right? So, we believe that there is this necessity of this policy, and there is this urgency, because we see that even the government officers have said that we have other ways to deal with these things, but they never tell us what kind of other ways. Does education really work? We believe that there is no progress we can see for education, and we see that people still were discriminated against gay people, and there's no ways for them to actually find opportunities to stand up to tell the society that we are the same as you guys. And the second assumption is that they believe that sports will be degraded once we give these quotas to gay people. As my opponents have told you in their policy, is that we will have a selection. So we'll still select people who are qualified to compete in these games. So we are not simply select any gays into our teams just to fulfill our quotas. No, that's not the case. So their qualities will still be exempt by their coaches. So we do think that this sports will essentially be degraded unless you cannot change people's mindset of discrimination, and that will be the goal of today. No, thank you. And the third assumption is that they think that gay people are not masculine. So they think that because they are not masculine, they are not manly, so they cannot play in sports. So audience will absolutely not like them. Is that the case? We see that there are many actors, they are gays, played in the movies, played in the TV series. But we see that even though they say that I'm homosexual, but the audience still likes them. Why? Because they are homosexual or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is their performance in certain areas. And that's my point.
But you treated the other athletes unfair. The fact is, gay athletes still can go to compete in order to get their spot, but not to the extent of quota where they're being treated to be so exclusive.
Okay, thank you. I didn't have said that before. You said that they didn't accept it because they are candidates, but they are accepted because to fulfill this quota. But I have already told you that why would we give this quota? It's as my partner told you that this is an affirmative action. Why so? Because the homosexual people are already being discriminated for so long in society, and this discrimination is not justified, because we see that simply having a different sexual orientation doesn't mean that you have to be discriminated. So to compensate to these people, we believe that yes, we're giving them special treatment for compensation, special treatment for equal opportunities to compete with straight people. Beside my rebuttals, I will give you the clashes of today's debate. For today's debate, we have three clashes. The first clash is that is it justified for the government to ask the sports teams to accept this quota? Which means that is it justified for the government to intervene? And the second clash is that is it what will brought to this sports benefits or harms? The third clash is did we actually change the mindset or help the gay people? Okay, first justification is, as my partner have told you about this affirmative action that will actually help these people, because we see that those gay people are struggling down there. They were never willing to reveal their sexual orientation. As in the U.S. military, we have this policy like no ask, no talk about I'm gay or not. Why will this policy exist? It's because of this discrimination already exists in society. So even though I'm a gay, even though I play in sports team, I'm not willing to reveal my sexual orientation. Why? Because you are afraid that people will discriminate you, right? So that's why the government had to step out to intervene in this issue. But however, what the other side told us is that it's not fair. You take away other people's opportunities, but we don't think so because they are still being exempt to go into these teams. So it's still qualified. And they say that there is no need for us to do so because there is already progress. There is no against for gay people to play in these sport teams. But we see that this progress is not enough because the society is still very largely discriminated those gay people. So when we find no other ways for the government to actually change the situation, we believe that it is justified and for this affirmative action, for this compensation. And the second extension is, is it good for the sport? As the officer said, it will degrade because they think that they're not capable. But I have told you that it's a total assumption, and they think that they are not valid, and another total assumption. They never prove us, and they never prove this link of being homosexual and being not to go to sports. However, on our side, we told you this good part will bring to our society is that more talent will be digged out from those gay people and encouraged, or we can say maybe forcing the audience to accept it. But everything has to start from the force. So this break has to be made. And the third clash is, are we really helping the gay people? Or change your mindset. The officer said that there is no difference because even if you ask them to go to sports, people still cannot accept that. But we see that after they go to sports, after they gain their fans, this publicity, this media to the society will spread this idea to the society that gay people can do as well as you guys. So being gay or not doesn't matter much. We don't care you are gay or not. As long as you are good in sports, you will be liked by the audience. So that's how people will start to think that there is no difference between homosexual people and so-called normal people. And based on these three clashes I have told you, I'm proud to propose.
Mr. and Madam Speaker, when we're talking about a diverse society, it's really important for you, especially as minority, to understand what's happening in the status quo and to take that step-by-step approach and not enforcing something really extreme because it can make the society back out, especially when the progress already made in the status quo. That's where the closing government stands in this debate. Three major points of contention that I will talk about in my speech. First, whether or not in the status quo gays are discouraged just because of their sexuality. Second, which proposal is actually better for gay movement goal. Lastly, and on how acceptance to the greater society can be made. Now let's talk about the first point of contention. First, in the status quo, the assumption coming from all the affirmative bench is that people are now discouraged to go to sport just because they are their sexuality. We don't think so. Three responses for this, Mr. Speaker. First, we say that we have to see how the acceptance is actually already there. We can see on how there are a lot of people that can now go on TV shows showing that they're gays. Gays people are everywhere. International NGO are everywhere, and in terms of education, we will always help people understand that it's not good to discriminate someone. And even the government already established anti-discrimination law. When you can, as a gay, you can sue your club if they deny you to go to your club just because you're gay. Because they need to measure you based on your meritocracy, based on your physical strength and stuff. Second response, Mr. Speaker, even if in the status quo, the incentive to be a sportsman is already there. We give you a lot of money, we give you media publicity and promotion, a lot of sponsors, and information for gays are also already there. We say that it's informed that to this gay that they have this option. But there's the biggest response, Mr. Speaker. We say you need to understand that being a sportsman, it's a lot of consequences if you take that, including the judgment from the society that we're talking about. The judgment from the society does not only come when you are gay. There are a lot of cases, right? Torres judged by people because he can't score a goal for a certain amount of time. A keeper, you're going to be judged by the society if you can't catch a simple shot, for example. Or Cristiano Ronaldo, you get judged by the society because you get someone pregnant. Now the thing be tackled. If you're boxing, you can leave the ring, with blood in your face and stuff. Sports, as Mr. Speaker, bottom line, it's all about taking risks, and it's everyone risk. It's not only these gays risks, and everyone needs to come their own problem. At the end of the day, these gays also need to overcome this fear of being society's judgment, as judgment is actually to everyone at the end of the day. Because we think that it's the value of sport. It's about competition. It's about strength. It's about challenging your fear. We say that we should not give these homosexual people more privilege, because we say that the playing ground for all of them is same in the status quo. Before I go.
Coach can always advise you that they reject them because they are not good enough, so your anti-discrimination law will work. Second of all, you say that the existence of gay people will disanctify masculine to watch TV. Or your organic change will also trigger this, right?
Mr. Speaker, we think that in the status quo, coaches especially always have the interest to make sure that his team wins. That's exactly why these coaches will always choose the best athlete that he found, no matter whether they're gay or not. Okay, we say within the interest of these coaches, they're not going to discriminate you. And if they discriminate you because of their sexuality, you can sue them easy. Second one, I'm sorry, on my other contention. Second point of contention, which proposal is the best for gay movement, Mr. Speaker? We think that at the end of the day, my member already established, and by the way, that never rebutted by their side of the house, that later on, if they really want to get a lot of sponsors and they want to go up in society, they will be forced to eradicate their femininity. We say this is against the gay movement. Why? Because the gay movement value and also the feminist value is to accept yourself the way you are. No matter you're masculine or feminine, you need to be comfortable with yourself, Mr. Speaker. And this is something that we are striving as gays, because we're proud of being gay, we're proud of being feminine, and we don't care if, for example, people judge us for that, Mr. Speaker. And what they're doing is they're trying to make these people comply, especially under pressure on the team in itself. Now we should only send gays who are ready to that environment and have meritocracy in the very first place, Mr. Speaker. And if you really want to achieve the goal of gay movement, the best way for you as gay community is to show that you need to go through the same access just like other athletes. Why? Because it's showing that it's actually in order to compete for sports, you can show that even if you're flamboyant, you're really good at it. This is not existent as their proposal. Why? Because it's 10%. You can just go as long as it's fulfilling the quota, and it really hurts your people's judgment to you in the very first place, Mr. Speaker. And that's how, and it's showing to you how at the end of the day, when we get asked gay to comply to masculinity, at the end of the day, their goal, which is society use the femininity, is not going to happen, right? Because everyone that you see in the TV will be gays that is forced to be masculine in the very first place. And when the closing say about it's going to help people to come out, we don't think so, Mr. Speaker. Why? When you're talking about come out, it needs a lot of consideration to determine to show yourself as gay in public, because this is one of the goals that the closing government want to achieve. We don't think that's going to happen, because it really needs based on your assessment to your environment and whether or not you are ready yourself to come out as gay. It doesn't have anything to do just by allowing gays to be in 10%. It's not going to work. Last point of contention, how acceptance can make. Mr. Speaker, basically what the affirmative want to do is only adding a number on the team, right? Because in the status quo, we are not denying gays to be in the club in itself. What they want to do, only adding the quantity. We don't think adding the quantity is going to change social judgment in the very first place. My member has established you on how entertainment and sport is all about competition. The reason why you want to watch MU versus City is because you see the best player possible compete for the winning. Mr. Speaker, now if we accept this 10% of homosexual just because they're homosexual, even if when they say that they still have competition on their own 10%. Seriously, it's not going to be the same if this game needs to compete with another 100%, which we think is better for the idea of competition, Mr. Speaker. This is also backlash the deputy's argument, because the deputy said this is going to attract media to you as sportman, and it's going to give benefit to the sport team because you're gay. We don't think so, because what people crave for sport is competition, and that element should not be compromised in order to get the media exposure. So at the end of the day, people will get mad, society will get mad after, because sports become competitive, and it's not going to attract more people to watch your sport, because we don't like not competitive sport. For gay movement, and we beg you